Are you looking for the best MIDI keyboard? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best MIDI keyboard controller on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Native Instruments Komplete Kontrol S88. Modern music production is all about the DAW, or the digital audio workstation. Because of this, we tend to keep our eyes trained on the computer monitor, for better or for worse. German company Native Instruments thinks this is for the worse and so has designed a series of MIDI keyboards that encourage you to look away from the computer and interact more with the keyboard itself. Called Komplete Kontrol, they range from the small to the large, with our pick for best overall MIDI keyboard, the S88, at the top of the line. As the name suggests, the S88 has 88 keys, with a fully weighted fader keybed with hammer action, something that piano players looking for an acoustic piano feel and level of control will surely appreciate. It also has 2 control pedal inputs to ensure that your playing can be as realistic as it needs to be. To this keybed it adds a row of 8 rotary encoders and a slick 4-directional push encoder for navigating the 2 high-res color displays. The latter features are how NI gets your eyeballs off the monitor. With deep DAW integration, this full-size MIDI keyboard can replicate portions of your DAW on the twin screens, allowing you to do tasks like mixing from within the keyboard. It also integrates with software via the included Komplete Kontrol application, which can run standalone or as a DAW plugin. This maps Native Instruments and participating third-party software instantly to the knobs, saving you the trouble of having to create MIDI maps to control things like filter cutoff. Komplete Kontrol S88 is not cheap, but as a fully featured MIDI controller with a piano-like keybed, it's just begging to be the centerpiece of your home studio. For musicians who like the functionality but don't need all the keys, look to the Komplete Kontrol S49 or Kontrol S61 for the same extras without the extra octaves. Number 2. Akai Pro MPK Mini MK3 MIDI Keyboard. Want to make beats but don't know where to begin? As long as you have a computer, Akai Pro's MPK Mini MK3 can provide a solid and affordable entry point into the world of music production. For those not in the know, Akai Pro is the company behind the MPC line of hardware samplers, a series of groove boxes that laid down the blueprint for hip-hop and other genres of music. What does this have to do with a MIDI keyboard? The MPK Mini MK3, the best-selling MIDI keyboard in the world, according to Akai Pro, borrows some of that MPC hardware magic and pairs it with MPC Beats, the DAW version of the music-making operating system inside the machines. For around $100, you're making music with the best of them. Think of the MPK Mini MK3 as an all-in-one MIDI controller. It's got 25 mini keys, 8 drum pads taken straight from the MPC with both channel and polyphonic aftertouch for complete timbre control, unheard of at this price point, 8 endless encoders for controlling software instrument parameters, a mappable XY joystick, an arpeggiator, and even an OLED screen for visual feedback. It's light enough to take on the go and solid enough to not slip around your studio when you bang out drum beats. While the action on the keys could be better, for this price you're getting a lot of controller for not much money. It's hard to not recommend it more strongly for many, not just as the best beginner MIDI keyboard. Number 3. Audio Hammer 88 Pro, 88-key USB MIDI keyboard controller. There are music producers, and then there are musicians. While those in the former category want all manner of control with their MIDI keyboard, the latter really care about just one thing, the keys. If you're primarily a keyboardist and your means of expression is your instrument, you want a MIDI keyboard that will provide a piano-like experience. You want Audio's Hammer 88. A well-made keyboard with a minimal aesthetic, Hammer 88 offers 7 octaves of velocity-sensitive and weighted keys. They have a substantial, almost acoustic feel to them and piano players will take to them instantly. Part of the piano experience is using the pedals, so Hammer 88 provides 3 pedal ports, one each for sustain, soft, and expression. There's even a music rest included. While Audio's keyboard doesn't offer a lot in terms of hands-on control, no arrays of encoders or sliders here, it does make concessions to modern synth players, with pitch and modulation wheels, as well as 2 basic selection buttons. A bundled application allows users to set up splits and other configurations. At only around $500, Amadio's Hammer 88 is a striking bargain. And if you really find yourself needing drum pads, Amadio makes one with additional controls. Players, do seek this one out. Number 4. Arturia KeyStep Pro MIDI Keyboard Controller. Most of the MIDI keyboards on this list are designed to work in tandem with computers. Yet there's a growing movement of musicians breaking away from the screen and going DAW-less. This includes modular synthesizer users, for whom experimentation, free from the rigid structure of a computer-based sequencer, is key. If this sounds like you need Arturia's KeyStep Pro. A 37-key controller, the KeyStep Pro combines sequencing and MIDI note triggering into one device. It has 4 sequencer lanes with one doubling as a drum programmer. Sequencing here goes beyond just note on-off, but also includes gate length, note offset, velocity, and more. Think of it as a box of tools to experiment with notes and patterns. The KeyStep Pro can transmit control information via MIDI over USB or 5-pin-in MIDI cable, or through control voltages, the language of modular and vintage synths. Of course, Arturia's MIDI keyboard can also work with a DAW, with a customizable controller mode for mapping to soft synths and other applications. Because it does so much, the KeyStep Pro is a little pricey for a MIDI keyboard with many keys. Should you want something similarly unconventional but with a friendlier price tag, Roley's Lumi keys and Keith McMillan's TuneXus Red are inspiring alternatives. Number 5. Novation Launchkey 61, 3 Malawian Kwaches, MIDI Keyboard Controller. Designed for live, get hands-on with Ableton Live, an unrivaled integration to Ableton Live with your Launchkey gives you a seamless music-making experience. Have all the tools at your disposal with deep and intuitive Ableton Live control, including device macro control, track select, record, capture MIDI, clip and scene launch, stop mute solo, volume, pans and sends. Never lose an idea with Capture MIDI. One-touch access to Ableton Live's Capture MIDI ensures you will never lose an idea without taking you from the creative experience. Create and play with feeling. Velocity-sensitive keyboard and 16 velocity-sensitive pads enable expressive and dynamic performance at your fingertips. Capture your playing in Ableton Live precisely as you intended. Get melodies moving with Arpeggiator, easy to use but deeply controllable. Launchkey's creative arpeggiator allows you to change rhythm, beat, pattern, octave, gate and more to add a whole range of diversity to your ideas and melodies. Never hit a wrong note. Scale modes transpose keys and pads to notes in the selected scale, so that you can focus on being creative and remove music theory frustration. DAW integration. In addition to Apple Logic and Ableton Live, Launchkey also has excellent integrations with Reason, as well as any HUI-compatible DAW, such as Cubase, Pro Tools, and more.